So let's delve into the watch list, shall we? David King, hello.
Hello, G. Hey, Robbo.
Hi, Kingy.
Leigh Montagna, welcome.
Hello, Jared, Robbo.
Joey.
That's where you're starting. You're going to pick out the Bombers here.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at the Bombers because it's a big watch what their run home is going to look like. And in particular, there's been a lot of talk about them defending without the ball. So we know this season they're 18th in the competition at defending the ball movement from the opposition. It's been a real area of concern for them. We know there's factors in it. It's a work in progress. But I'm putting the acid squarely on one man in particular because we're going to take a look at a player who's in the All-Australian calculations. He's having a wonderful year offensively and you're getting something pretty special out of him. But defensively, what Nick Martin is doing, I think, is having a significant impact on the team because when you take a look at the vision, he is conceding the most uncontested possessions in the competition, right? Getting drawn into the footy. And, Robbo, you put this on the radar early in the week when you said you're watching the game and Henry was out there on his own all game. Well, I could have shown probably 10 or 12 edits of what it looked like. He concedes the most marks in the competition, Nick Martin, and he's conceding the most disposals of any wingman in the competition. So while he's getting a fair bit of ball and he's having a really good year offensively, it's hurting his team defensively. There's so many examples. So this was last time they played Port Adelaide, where Port Adelaide went at a record rate moving the ball from one end of the field to the other, and the wingman had a field day. So if Nick Martin is going to continue to go and sort of get lured into the contest and go kick chasing, it's going to hurt the team the other way.
Is this happening by design?
Well, this is the question. Is it Nick Martin got a licence to go and join in the contest and kick chase when every other team in the competition is holding their wingman? They're holding width. It's now a lot of structure for a lot of teams in the competition, and maybe this is exactly now why we're realising Essendon are struggling to be able to defend ball movement. They are allowing an outlet. So in these situations, you shouldn't be allowing an outlet. You should be able to lock this ball in, force a long kick. But these sorts of things, and there's a lot of examples, are probably why Essendon are allowing so much ball to flow from one end to the other because he gets drawn into the footy. He's getting a lot of ball himself, but it's killing them the other way. And that's just the number from last time these two teams played. Port Adelaide went at 43% moving the ball from one end to the other. AFL average is 29%. So if he continues to do that, he might become an All-Australian. But is it really helping Essendon win and they're trying to play finals? Just to watch from here on in for the rest of the season.
Should it be part of the All-Australian credential conversation?
I don't know if they take in what you do without the ball as a midfielder or a wingman into calculations, but maybe there is an element that they should.
You used to be a free-flowing wingman halfback.
That's right.
Now you're coaching and you just want to defend,
well,
defend.
Can you win a final having your wingman play like that?
I don't think so, not in the modern game. I don't think so, unless you're a pretty special wingman and you're doing more damage than your opposition, and maybe that's the way they're playing. But from what we're seeing with their defending ball movement, it's hurting them.
All our lab work is for zero, so you've been deep in the lab after seeing Nick Daicos live again on Sunday.
And we've all seen Nick Daicos. We know what we're seeing, OK? But 38 games into his AFL career, it just started me thinking, I think he's one of the most intelligent footballers I've ever seen. His footy IQ through the roof. But he's the most destructive, most damaging player at this stage that I can recall. And we're talking about a guy who's favourite for the Brownlow medal in his second year. It's just ridiculous. So just have a look at some of the vision and we'll paint the picture on what the stats are telling us because he's the most creative handballer in the competition. His handballs lead to scores. Most handballs go backwards, they retreat, they maintain possession. He puts people into space. So I don't know whether he's better by foot or by hand. But his handballing is the best in the comp at creating scores. His kicking's above average. His kicking inside 50 is top 10 at achieving a goal. His ability to create his own space is unparalleled. Everyone says, oh, this is the 1-2, but have a look at what it creates. It may be a 1-2, but everyone knows that the ball's best off in Nick's hands. So they play to that. So what can we achieve? What's the scope of this guy? Like, if he wins the Brownlow in his second year, like, do we have to then reevaluate what we're seeing and what we're thinking? I had a look at, Chris Judd in his second season, 12 votes. He won the Brownlow in his third and his ninth. Gary Ablett, 3 votes in his second season. This guy's going to have 20 plus minimum. Won Brownlows in his 6th and 12th year. Fife won it in his 6th and his 10th. If this guy wins the Brownlow in year 2, I can't remember seeing a second-year player do this. I've never seen a second-year player think his way through this and then have the speed and the gas and the IQ and the intent to then follow up. And if Mitchell had been on the same page, kick goal of the year, I'm just blown away. I think once players reach a level, they tend to stay in that level for long periods of their career. This guy's already shot into the top bracket already. He's already there. So if he stays there for a long period of time, what can he achieve? I honestly think that he'll be one of the best midfielders we've seen. And since Chris Judd, or even including Chris Judd, turn the century sort of stuff. Because what we're seeing is next level, and it's only just started. He played his first full midfield game last weekend. Hasn't even been exposed to centre forward footy. So we're tip of the iceberg. So I'm just so excited that we've got a player like this that's going to take us all an unbelievable
What's the
ride.
plan? If you're put your opposition hat on. They can't allow him. Can he be stopped? They can't allow him to have 37. They can't allow him to get the hand.
They're all trying to stop him, aren't they?
They've got to. You often talk about they're trying to work out a plan at some stage in September. What is it?
Unless we evolve back to the full-on tagger. I mean, that Judd era, remember, every team had a tagger. Crowley, Ling, Shirley, Clint Jones. Like, everyone had one. Robert Shirley, that was just that name.
Surely, don't call me.
Every team had one. So maybe now we've got to get back at some stage. They might do it because of Nick Daicos. Every team might have to find a tagger again because of what Nick Daicos might be doing.
Do you think they have to... Do you think he has to be shut down?
If you don't stop him, or at least try to stop him, you're going to bleed 10 scores from what he does.
So he has to be stopped.
So teams are only kicking 25 scores.
It's going to be intriguing to see what they do.
Yeah.
It really is.
I agree.
Do they start working on a player now?
There's not much you can do in the modern game because we're talking about the through handballs now, stand the man, the mark can't impact, tag, you can't hold, you can't scrag, can't block. There's not much you can do.
Richmond, the mini tweak. What are you seeing under Andrew McCall?
Yeah, just previewing the game Thursday night against Brisbane and taking a look, and we've heard that Richmond haven't really changed a lot. They've made a few positional shifts and they've made some little mini tweaks. And the one that I've seen that's jumped off the page really has been their scores per entry going inside 50. So up until round 10, Dimmer's last game, they were 18th in the competition at scoring per entry. Since Andrew McQualter has taken over, the 4 games he's coached, they are first. So I've had a look at how it's come about. What is it that's changed? And the biggest one is, so deep entries, they can either look at inside 50 from between 35 and 50, so what we call a shallow entry, or a ball that goes deeper inside 35 metres to goals. And Richmond have gone from being about a 55-45 team at deep entries. The last 4 weeks, they're now kicking at 66% deep. So I think they've just made a little tweak. And it looks like they've slowed down a little bit and said, right, if we get the ball, because sometimes they play a bit too helter-skelter, Richmond, and they don't quite finish their work. And maybe those shallow entries we're getting scored against. Now they're saying, right, let's just slow it down a little bit. Let's get a really deep entry. Let's get lots of numbers in, and we're able to score a bit more. And they're able to score. They've been able to get some stoppages and score an extra goal a game from forward half stoppages, and it's helping their defence. So they are defending ball movement better as well because you're getting a deeper entry. You're just slowing down a little bit and you're set. And I think it's just a mini tweak that Andrew McQualter's made that is having a big impact.
All right. Now, you got a little glimpse, a mini glimpse of Aaron Naughton down back. And you went to the lab for 0. Can you stack it up? Did we see a hint of it?
Yeah, go straight to the vision and have a look, because this is the discussion, isn't it? This is why we're so bullish about seeing it long term, because they just don't have the stocks that can do this sort of thing. So Naughton goes back, and he knows when forwards are going to redundant positions. So he's not going to go with Coleman Jones here until he absolutely has to. And he reads when the ball's going to be kicked quicker than most. That's what forwards do. That's why they're so good at centre-half back. So he wins that ball back for them. He's only there for a half a footy. Now, not many can make the ground and make that spoil. That's a spoil at the absolute height. This is the same edit from behind the goals. So they don't have another backman that can do that. Keith can't do that. We've seen O'Brien fail at that. Bruce hasn't been able to do that. So I look at this and I think, well, maybe that's something they haven't got. And don't worry, it's not lost on the others. They're pretty happy to see him back down there doing that because it means they don't have to, right? And this is the recovery speed. This is the recovery speed of a bloke who's lost the initial step. There's not many in this lineup, OK, drops off at the end and then assists in winning the ball back. But there's not many that have got his straight line power that can recover like that. It's a small sample. It's just a little window into an option for the coach. It doesn't have to be minute 1 of quarter 1. He can throw him back when he needs him.
Yep.
But the numbers are stark. Whether you look at the forward line change...
And so this is what happened in the forward line.
That's the unpredictability that you get. So if you look at the last 6 weeks, you know, they're 11th in the competition for scores per entry. So something's got to give there anyway. So you've got to make a change there. And down back, they're 14th at conceding scores when the opposition go in their forward 50. So you've got a problem between the arcs. There's a lot they're doing right. This is just something that I think that Luke will look at in his own time, if not for little blocks of games.
He won't be so stubborn. He'll do it. I reckon he'll do it. He has to do it.
You got to have a look.
It has to.
And we're not.
just
I
has
think
to.
they're in good order outside of that. So this is a risk worth taking. You know, we talk about the next 4 weeks setting yourself up for the premiership runway. Well, this is it for the Dogs.